Hello, happy folks, and happiest of days teaching you folks. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day today. One of the best you've ever had in your entire life. For you folks, alright, so I have, this is my fourth Let's Play with Fantasyland. It is a sandbox mode with the finances turned on. This got started as a roller coaster tycoon 2. After I finished everything, had all the DLCs, I created a scenario called, right, back then they didn't have sandbox modes. I just created a scenario called Fantasyland, where I would take that and divide it into 12 sub-themed areas, starting with fairies and story tales in the first section. And that sort of thing too, right? And then every time I've gone back and finished a video game of a coaster nature, from Planet Coaster to Parkitect, I've created too. And so I thought it would be fun. And I actually did that for about 5 or 6 hours after finishing up Planet Coaster 2 a couple of months ago. But then they released a Sorcery DLC, which actually has a bunch of fantasy content too, right? I thought that'd be nice. And so I've been doing some Let's Plays with this fantasy thing. Now here's the issue. The finances have been rough, as you noticed from the last one. That sort of a thing too, because I only started, in order to make this a harder challenge, with 10,000 smallest you can start with in sandbox mode. And then also, all the typical rides that you have here at the front in a fairy, storybook, kids style thing are typically not going to be the greatest things in the world, right? They won't be typically investing a lot of stuff, right? And that sort of thing too. After the first couple of episodes, where I placed the teacups, the merry-go-round, the chair swing over there to the far right, and then that small little junior coaster, the sky roller. I thought it would be nice for me to. I had to cut the finances and that sort of a thing too. Now here's what I did, and this was a dumb thing, so you should not do this, because they changed the game from the last time I played it a few months ago. So here I'll show you what I did, and that sort of a thing too. So last time I got about 1,200 or so after I just did some decorations and that sort of thing too. But then you can see here some of this, and then I showed you all the cut finances, right? And that's, so here. Let me show you. Here are the staffs. So here's what I started with. So here's what I did last time. I slashed our mechanic to the lowest stuff in order to cut the cost, and I actually dropped our mechanics to 1 because that person I thought could probably do the job of 1 mechanic, right? Well, that was dumb. And here I'll show you what they did and how they changed this, right? So you can see. Alright, so you see over here this teacup ride for you folks, and you see how it has here in the condition section, as things wear out, you have to get the service badges, right? And that's everything too, right? Here, I'll show you. So here's the maintenance. Alright, so here's what happens after something happens of the service badge. It's about 60 minutes, and that sort of thing. Then the condition will deteriorate, right? And then you can call it, and then what will happen is a mechanic will be called in immediately, right? No problems with that. But then what happens is you see that ride condition. Once that ride condition starts to deteriorate, it won't stop, right? You can't fix it unless you hit the refurbish button and then you redo it. Now in the old school, back in the previous, or I think probably about when this game was released a few months ago, right? I could just have that mechanic, and it would restore that ride condition to perfect. But no, once that condition has dropped, it's down permanently, right? So you need that stuff, right? All of it for you folks, and so you have to have a staff member for that. So if you think that just having one, and I had divided his time about half and half, I thought that was pretty clever of me too. But you cannot do that way, right? And that sort of thing too. So here I'll show you. Here I'll show you what how to divide a staff member. So come over to here to the staff section. There is a section here for the schedules right here. You can find it here in the staff section here. So I had gone to my initial mechanic that I started with, and I'll show you an example of the gym. You can schedule your time off, right, and that sort of thing. Right? You can see here, right? Here's where the time off is. Here's where all their different things are, right? You can just grab this thing here, and then there you grab which thing you want it to do. So here I can have this janitor do different things. I could have them cleaning or whatever this is. And that could be, that's actually removing the hour slot from the ship. Here's basically all that is, right? So you can see I have this too. So when you have a maintenance worker, you put someone for that hour, what they do. Or, right, and some people, and so what I did was I decided that half of their day was research, and then the other half of their day was was maintenance, and that did not work because of the changes that they made. So I really screwed up my things, right? And so with all those extra costs, with my extra staff, and that sort of a thing too, I have not been bringing in the money anymore, and it was very slow at that time too, right? Just as a heads up. So last time I did do some decorations. Right, I'll show you what I did here, over here, so you can see it. Luckily these are pretty cheap. I told you I was going to do some topiaries. I did do some topiaries here, not as many as I was hoping. I kind of ran out of time. I had to stop doing stuff. And then over here, you can see over here I got the heart topiaries, which are actually, if you topiaries there are some of them in the fairy tale sections of things that are sun, right? So I think it's nice. And that sort of thing too. And so you got the hearts. They're the ones over here. Over here by the unicorn ride, I put in the. You see over here, I've got these spiral ones, and then all of the ones by the entrances and the exits tend to have these cheaper crown ones. All these are in the fairy tales, right? Many of these topiaries, the harder topiaries that are very, very hard, like those are all in the fairy tale. Descriptions and such, right? So it's good for here, and it makes sense too. Also, last time I placed the Alice statues over here too, which you can see too, and then also these entrances and exits, the canopies, right? And then also these are two. Also, I did not choose some lamps because I forgot to. So I grabbed these diagram of these lamps, which are the buttons, light buttons. Jars. Thought that would be fun for kid light. Right, that's a thing too. Alrighty. So the last time, what I told you I was going to do, in addition to doing a nose decoration, was to wait until I got about 3,000. Yeah, but that's not happening. With me really committing myself, right? So we've got to make this stuff work. We've got to start bringing in the cash. Now, I told you, so you can see I've actually got a lot. I was thinking about waiting to get about 1,000 and then building a bumper cars and see if that would help. But yeah, you can see it. That's just not working. So I'm going to come over to here to the money that the research that we have got into. Now, some of the coasters could be junior stuff that are big things. We could get the mouse and which is good too, and then also I think there's also a wooden coaster too, which would be awful tough to do over here. All right, you can see over here are the custom things that I could build. I think a mine train would be, but that's going to be more about. I don't think a mine train would be, sort of right. It says right there for all ages, right, and that sort of a thing too. But I was doing some research, and there are more of these spinning rides. This one is the one right here. The mouse is just a wild mouse, but there is a spinning mouse that comes out later, as well as and stuff too. I think there's also a couple of roller coasters that would be. Yeah, I think here's a sidecar. If I remember correctly. No, that's there. There are 4 ages. That would be. Here it is. It's the side friction wooden, which is pretty cheap to build, and for all ages too. Absolutely, we could do that too, as well as this wooden coaster too. But there is a spinning wild mouse and a and a spinning car, 1, 2. I think that wouldn't be good. But the problem is that I didn't start with them. So let's take a look at the research, right? But adding those in addition might help, right? If I got to take a $3,000 loan, let's start that. Right? And so let me show you what stuff is, right? So you can see too. All right. So here is roller coasters. You can see roller coasters typically 10. I've got 2,800. Research. The wooden and the water both have to be chosen to move to chapter 2. Right? I'm sorry, to finish chapter prologue and to move to chapter 1. Right? And so the wooden one does have a couple of nice ones that we probably do too. Water coasters would be in my Atlantis and section, which would be next. So they wouldn't be. So I would just be unlocking them to a lot stuff. And also the parks, not parks, like swimming pools and that sort of thing too. But you can see here, and then here I'll show you where the good stuff is. It's deep. Sorry. So you get the chain lift coasters here. You can see 3 options there. All of them are pretty good stuff too. We already started with some chain lift coasters, and then we have alternative lift coasters too, which is another AD300 over here too. And then more suspended coasters for the first time, and that I think you might come up with some nice stuff there too. In the suspended coaster section too, for just $55. And you got 2 great things there too. Typically, you're good at the money makers. Launched coasters are traditional, popular things too. At a number of parks, you can probably start to get that money from those too. Another 2. So here is where the 2 that I want to get to. I'll show you how far these in. They're in Java per day. Sorry. And they're here at the special coaster section, so you got to pick up all of these things, right? And then 2 on both of those sides here at 9,400. What you can see there is the spinning wise, and there is the spinning ride too, right? And the spinning wheel mouse and the spinner coaster are both very, very good, right? But you got to go deep into those pools to get to that, right? So you're going to have to go really good deep into that, but you could do it. Right, if I wanted to start that. Now the other option, if you were home, would be just to do some flat rides. Too. Which tend to be good money makers early on if you got some ones that make money, right? And bring in that cash for you folks. We do still have the spinning flat. Now we opened up the tower flat rides previously, and the special flat rides are the bumper bars. We could also do, if you recall, we opened up last time a big wheel. So a Ferris wheel, and then a smaller spinning thing too. And then we could just go through the spinning flat rides over here too. And we also have the tower flat rides, which make tons of money too. And then the spinning flat rides over here will get you that observation needle, which could be here. I definitely could see here, but you probably want to put it further into your park, as well as the that thing too, and those would unlock the swing flat rides right up here now. Block, which are right here. You could probably do both for $2,800, but not have, unfortunately, that much money. If I did, I'm not much research off. Is the word I was looking for. Right, you can see there's a couple of them there. Both of those are actually pretty good money makers, if I recall correctly. Right, so we can get those. We can actually, I could toss, a plunge tower down a ferry plunge and actually make that money easily in here. But this is one of the issues. I was actually doing a challenge part first. I actually made a lot of money. I put a couple of hours into it when I was at 20. That's right. So spinning flat rides might not be the worst thing in the world as well as because definitely the needle would definitely be something that we could care for him. Totally. But I don't know if that would make me that much money. So we're gonna go over the coasters, right? Just pick up some coasters and get it started with that path. Because I do think there's gonna be some wooden coasters. There might be. Pretty low research wise, so it's gonna research those two for 4,800. And there's two over here for 4,800 too. And now I've got another 1,900. I could get the chain lift coasters too, which is another section of good stuff. Right. And then after that, another 8,300. I'm not sure what those. Let's check them out and see if I've got something in there I could go ahead and just invest in right now, or I could just just try to make some stuff for your folks. Let me see, or what the other ones would be. I could also get this suspended coaster, right, or the over here, or the alternative lift coaster, right. So let's take a look, see what I can do instead. Actually, those aren't that bad. That middle one might be good. Let's see and see if there's a cheaper, budget-friendly, family-friendly stuff that I've just unlocked. Right. Let me sort this by cost, price level. Yeah. So here's the one that we already have here, and that's the vector marker, vector Fisher. Sorry, Todd Fisher. Sorry. It's for all ages too. And then we unlock, which is very cheap. Next up is we did unlock that log flume water coaster, but that would definitely be the next one over. And so we're not going to do that for you. But yeah, what's the next one over here? That is the Crazy Mouse. Actually, it doesn't sound that bad. Crazy Mouse probably would be for all ages, right? Alright, so let's take a look. Could I build that now? How much would the Crazy Mouse be? Or this mouse coaster over here would be good too. The Crazy Mouse or the Mouse. This is the Wild Mouse. It's actually pretty cheap too at 7,600 for the station. Right? Or we got this one over here. I think that's the sidecar. Yeah, side friction. So yeah, that's the one we already have. So let's take a look and see what I can do with that mouse. What's it called again? Crazy Mouse, right? What the cost of that would be to actually put that into practice, right? If I could get a cheap Crazy Mouse coaster, that would probably be where I'd want to go with that instead. Right? If I'm going to put some loans, let's do those ones right. I think that's crazy. Now this is what it's called. So let's see if I can find a good blueprints for you. I misspelled crazy. That's probably the reason why. CRA. It's the title roll. This also came with it too. It's for that's very very expensive. 317K. Right. I could do 17K as on 17.2. But it's only and you can see it's actually where is it? That's the Crazy Mouse, right? Yeah. And so I could 17,200. So I'd probably have to take out like about 17,300 just to make sure there's enough money for it and like the pads, right? And that's other thing too. And here, let me show you that compared to the other mouse, the other mouse flight, so you can see what else we can do for cheaper. Yeah, but that is right 17,201. Not the worst idea in the world. And it's got a good length, good jumps, good inversions. The excitement's only about 3.4, so it's probably not going to bring in a ton of money, right? Like, and so you might have some issues getting that money back. Let me show you. Let me pull up this just as a heads up, just to show you. I think it's got decent stuff, decent numbers too. Over here, Sky Sailor, our vector coaster for the kids. We have about over here 3.4. So it's got about the same excitement, 3.4, with very little nausea and decent excitement too. Here, so, but the excitement's 2.4, which is not bad. But and then people that go there, I think it's in the vibes. Yeah, 6.5. Right, so they're not bringing in lots of cash. cash, but that wasn't that pricey. It was like $3,500, right, to build, right? So it's not that pricey either. So what we need to do instead is to consider a better, and maybe what I need to do instead with this coaster is to grab something that's cheaper than the wild mouse that I could do, or the regular mouse too, but that is not going right. But 1,700, I could absolutely, slide that into this place. There. Let me check out the other cheap options that are in blueprint form, so you can pull it out too, so you can see what else we have. These are the ones that are already built out, that I'm not having to spend money on. We also have the other mouse too, if I remember correctly, the wooden mouse that we started with. I don't think that's a spinny thing or anything like that. I just think that may just be a regular mouse, right? You can see it right over here, and it's actually the Rowdy mouse, and that is pricey at $24,000. That's a very, very pricey, right? But you can see it's there. But it's 3.34, so I would prefer this to that, because it's about 3.34 with a much bigger price than this guy is. It's 17,400 and a 3.42. Right, that's about the same excitement, and you're shipping like 7,000. So let's go ahead and just do this. We're just going to sort all blueprints by thing. See what I can do. I'll see. Okay. And here, in case we come across a nice wooden or something, just to see what I can do with the costs. Alright. So here we have the hopper, and that's the side effect, very, very cheap. Only a 1.78. You're probably not going to get a mean value from that. But 10,000, 10.5, well, wood coupling 10.6 isn't that bad, but it's pretty, not that great. I don't think you're going to get a lot of money from it. And then let's see what the other one is here. And this is the Minder, and that is a Lay and Mid Walden Flores. I doubt that's going to be for a family, right? Let me take a quick. Although it's not a bad price, what's its value? It's between those two. It is at. Sorry. There we go. Minder. It's 16.4. Just a 4.0. It's a little bit better for 17,000. For 16.5, it's probably better. It's creamy. Is a floorless at all ages sort of, right? Or is that more of a floor? Let me pull it up. Among us, it is floorless, right? Yeah. Is that over here? Look at the floorless real quick. So see what they look like. Yeah, they were something I was looking at. They are for adults and teens. Yeah, I didn't think so. Right. So right, and so it's actually great for the cost to that sort of thing. Too. Yeah, let me go ahead and unlock some more coasters to see where we're at. So maybe I can come up with a better one. So I've got the regular suspended coaster, 5,500, which will leave me a lot, or I can just get the alternative lift from here too. One of those on the right definitely seems like it might be very fantasy themed, so I like that one over here, on the left rather. So that might be good. And you also have the other two too, and then you can also grab the suspended coasters for 5,500, but there's just two of them. I think those tend to be a little on the pricier side. And so I wouldn't consider any of those to be typically, more of a family, all ages style thing. So let's go ahead and grab the ALCs. Well, let's take a look at this one. What we got there? Sorry, research. I got a lot. Right, maybe one of those will be our muse. one there that was on the left. That is the junior coaster. That's not bad. As a junior coaster, it could totally work. Right, although it's a little expensive, so probably not right now. But yeah, a junior coaster would be fine. You know, right? So what else? Might be a cheaper Life. So yep, that's pretty cheap. Floors over there too. What's those two in the middle? Right here. Yeah, that's the friction wheel. It's a multiverse coaster. It is all ages 2. Yeah, and this would be what's its full name again? It's actually not that bad either. Wild Mouse. What's between those two? The Vector, and yeah, it's definitely not going to be a suspended roller coaster. That's all. Yeah, that's the one that we started with, and that's actually from this DLC, the album Max one. This is the friction wheel at 7,600. It's probably going to be a little pricey, but with its start, well, let me see what it's got. That is the friction wheel blueprint. Alright, we'll do this right here. Wow, it's pretty pricey. Although it's great excitement, great fear, very low nausea. So it might be worth it for 2,600, 2,700. That I have to bring in. So, yeah, instead of 1,700. Right? Yeah. Right. I probably would be making that money. You know, with a 4 point. Yeah, it's much better. So is it better for another like 8,000 for a lot? That's basically what we'd be looking at, right? And so that's the key question. Is it better? Is it that better? Or do I just want to go for like a loan for a flat ride for like 3,000 and then make the bumper cars that I was hoping to just get to, but I couldn't physically. So this is what happens though sometimes with this stuff for you folks. Or if I wanted to, I could, take out like 3,000 for that, and then also I could do things like the over here too. You can take a look at the custom over here too. I could do the big wheel for, I think about, here I'll show you. Here it is. It's called the big wheels here, but it's different. There it is for 2,800, all up and down the block, which isn't that bad for just a 2.0, and then also the other stuff that's there too, right? Or I could just try for the flying coaster. See if that works too. The flying feeder. It might be considered more of a family style thing. It probably would bring me in that cash check. Right. So let's do that. I like that and that sort of thing. Actually, that's kind of outside the party. I didn't think about that. So let's see if that'll bring in money here for a little bit, and if it doesn't, I'll just go to the coasters next time. Alright, let's do it. And so that is how much again for that? That is 3,600. 36 of what we put in and get that 3,400. So let's build a flying feeder and get that taken care of too. And then once that happens, we'll get all the other stuff taken care of. Alrighty, so let's get this stuff done for you folks. And then I've got, I wanted to wait until you guys were here to do this garden over here. This is called Garden Swing. Oh, cheers. Just a heads up. It's going to be nice for me to do that here too with you. So that would be 3,700. Go over into the loan section. You can see what my loans look like. So I currently had a loan of about 8,700, 8,500. Sorry. Then I put about 8,200 into for my debt. This still has left. All right, so we're going to increase that loan by a bit. 3,700. That's too much. That's 65. So we're going with 37. That one's perfect. All right, let's go. So we are going to confirm that amount. And build a flying feeder. Where are you folks? How big is it? It is 36. It's not. It's pretty big. I could put it here, over here, but I feel like that's probably coaster space. Right, that was a good place for it. I can put it here, too. Just drop it in. I'll open it. I could, yeah, I can do that. Or I could toss it over here. Where I was going to do a transport. Too. Yeah, that also works too for the transport. So, but it's pretty big, so you definitely, yeah, but I think that over here probably, right out of the way probably works. So we're on top of here. So we're into a space that I haven't worked on yet, and that's right here, folks. Drop it right here. Actually, I might want to move that machine too. Well, for now, we'll just go ahead and get that started to bring in money. I want to get a little closer. Yeah, a lot closer than that. Yeah. That's good. Okay. It's placed. We're going to put the queue right here in the front side, right here by where the ticket is. Not there. And then the exit will be over here. Okay, probably put it over here. A little bit more. That's probably fine right here. Alright. Now our queues over here aren't these. So the first thing we're going to want to do here is to change that up a little bit. So that the queue is here. We have this queue, if you'll see, it's over there. So this is the queue we're using here. And then once that's done, we probably want to do a couple of these. You just want to connect it, be done with it. So here, let's go ahead and get that started. Remember, queue paths are free as well as roads. So you don't pay for them on this version of Planet Coaster 2. So you can definitely get this stuff done afterwards. So you don't have to worry about running out of money when you're setting up this stuff. Yeah. Actually, I might want to go that side. To get closer to where the other one is. Although, that side has more space. So it might be the better. Yeah. Let's do it. How much more space I have over there? actually, what I wanted to do, just for you folks, because I know how much you know. Well, when I move there. Sorry. Yeah, what we're probably going to do here is, first of all, we are going to name this Fair. Circle. And then come down here, and then we're going to move this cube. Well, sorry, I meant to hit that, but the pawn, I was trying to move it around with the. Here, I'll show you what I'm trying to do. I was trying to spin this around like this, so I could take a little movie. But that wasn't working because I hadn't hit the enter button. Looking for where I go to change. Maybe something else. Maybe it's in a custom message. Attach scenery. Moves up. More options, add more stops. I don't see that there either. Alright, so we're going to slide on over into this basic fader theater. So is it over here in the prestige section? Nah, it's probably operation. Maybe it's there. Nope. Stay. This thing. Not bad. Oh, not the worst thing in the world. Price. Let's move that from custom to bargain. 3.12. And then, yeah, I still don't see it. Maybe it's over here. Move entrance. There it is. Just gonna put over a few more. That's good. Yeah. And then we're going to delete this queue over here. By hitting the delete button. Yeah, queues can be a little weird with what button button deletes. I'm sorry. Yeah, this stuff has always been a little weird. See, that wasn't on it. No, but that was. See. Now we're going to hit the pathing. Just the regular ones. We're going to now connect these queue up and down the block with a few of those going up. Before we then move over to the map. And then it looks like we might have some issues with the power. So we'll take it. I like to say, gonna send a second. I want another one after that. Yeah, that's all there too. So let's do the same. It's probably going to be not the most demeaning because it's a once on off. It's got a lot in a theme. I'm just going to do a couple more of these. That works. Alright. Now over here, we're going to do the exit path. This is not the traditional exit path 2. We're on the regular path, not the cube path. Sorry. It's right here. I don't think we're on that. I think we're on it's this one. It's the rustic path. Almost there. So now we're going to connect to this to it. soon as that is done, we will drop down a couple of benches and such. But before I do that, I want to see if I'm out of power. Because I'll need to get that thing taken care of. This is out of power facility. We'll take a look at what it looks like first. Testing. Alright, it looks weird. Also, while I'm here, I might be able to change some of the operations here too and make it different. See if there's something a little on that side of things we can grab too. Nope. This is in the customize section. I can do a ride backwards and forth, rock backwards and forth, right, turbulence way, all that stuff. Right? I can change all those things. Right? But I don't know that I necessarily want to. I think we're going to be fine with all this stuff. Just some default. So we'll go ahead and knock out these all the ride good stuff here. To the things we were doing previously. Whoops. Right. It looks like I've forgotten the number for this pink thing. Hot pink. Right here. So we're going to do that decoration really quickly too. So we're going to copy and paste. Not because I don't think it's in a regular color pick. It's a very, very bright hot pick. That was not copying that BE. Hold on a second. Here we go. Now let's try. Try a few times. Go over here and try pasting it a few times. If you recall, one of the things that I was doing over here was making this, good for girls with the pink. With the boys with the blue. Well, I totally just copied that a second time. So rather than observe it. Yeah, we're just sorry about that. We'll go head back over to here in a second. And over here to the gardens. Try the second time. See if that, in case I need this selected instead of just using the copy. Let's try that a second time. Make sure that works over here. Very defeated. Bad aim. Snuff it out here. This should be customized. I'm not sure. I'm shocked with the white. I'm not going to give it away like I was. Now let's try this apart. There we go. Maybe make this one a lighter rose, like fairy tale. There's actually, to work with that. And also, we can do this one over here too. In the frame section. Also need to try that fairy tale too. See if that works. Yep. And then now that those are done, now let's change the blues. See if that blues work in the other places. I was choosing a raw blue. If I remember correctly, it's medium as well. Not dark blue. Ooh, that's very bright. Maybe a little darker. Medium blue? Might be it. It's still probably a little too bright. For the name of dark blue? No. It's a little green. Dark blue? Yeah, that's better. I confirm. And then the last one. This is also going to be medium blue on one side, robo side, and then over here we'll try a lighter blue. Where's that green one? Oh, it's right there. So we're going to try a lighter blue there too. Maybe maybe just a blue. Yeah, that's right. Blue and pink. It's nice. And now I'm going to go ahead and save it because sometimes I have forgotten to save it. Just saying, oh, the auto-save will work, and then we had some issues. One of those was the power, if you recall. So we're definitely going to make sure that doesn't happen again. Right? Because I want to take out more run. We'll go ahead and start testing that, right? Now we're going to take a look at the power facility. I'm not sure what it will be. Because I'm going to have to build another one, but luckily it's in the range. It's probably going to be another 800 if I remember correctly. Sometimes it's a little cheaper though. Power generator, 500. Yep, so it's cheaper right now. And then is that the power generator and then there's a power? Yeah, that's 200. Distributor. Yeah, this is 500. Right? Alright. Well, I got 87 bucks, so it's knocked out another 500 unfortunately, and that's rough hit fiscally, but we gotta do it. Gotta do it. Yeah, if you just hit the arrow button, it works. So that way you don't accidentally take too much. And 500 should be just right. And now that puts us right over here for this. Now we're going to put down a power generator for 500 each. We'll spin around too. Actually, I might not want to now that I think about it. I might want to save that space over there for other stuff now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we'll go there. Another 120. I hope that works. For getting the flying theater up and running. Good. And let's see how that worked over here. Let's see if that works. We had that issue before, if you recall. So let me check to make sure it's over here. It's working. extra power is required is 30. 2 power structures out of that 3. So 2 of those structures just on. Let me check. 1 connected generator. Oh, I didn't connect it. I just put it there. Sorry, that's the reason why. That was a dumb mistake. Right, I knew that. Come here to the scenery, and we'll add that. Sorry, scenery facilities. That pipeline over here should work. Yeah, it does. And it's now working. Alright, so let's just do it. Yeah, let's go ahead and open this up. Alright, now I'm at $43 once this opens up. See how much people come here. Now I don't know if I actually can do a ride because I haven't. This is a brand new thing from this. Let's try that and see what happens when I hit the pawn. When I go ahead and hit that for you folks. Yeah, I don't think this one. But again, I was at 43. I'll hit that pause button. 43. And we'll get that started. Open and unlock for you folks. So, let me see what else we've got. Now we go ahead and toss it down. And we go ahead and hit the pause button here while I've still got a positive cash flow. And then add some like benches and stuff here. And trash cans. Sorry, I should just copy it. I better use it. So what I got is fairy tale stuff in right. So go ahead and toss a couple of these in here. Also, I'm going to need to toss up for some decoration to here, like the fences and the exits sections here. And then I'll also actually I should do that. I'm thinking about it because that actually, and because I'll have to move this here. So let's see if I got enough cash for that first. How long is it? Well, about 4 spaces. It's pretty long. Let me see if I can come across this a mass select that for you folks. This week. See that works over here. Just try this the hard way. I said no. Well, it just added a menu. Sorry about that. So I can remove them. There we are. That's more. Sorry, that's the plus button. That should be enough. Now let's just copy this over. Yeah, easy enough. Turn that around a little bit. Put it all the way here to the end. I'm also going to put some of those stuff over here for the decoration. So do this first. It's pretty pricey. I'm going to wait. Pause button and then get the branding money first. But we'll get a chance to do that together. Yep. Now let me see if I can do the ride thing now that everything's. Let's see if that works. 2 hour probably. You can do the ride. It came. Oops, sorry about that. Remember there was a way to turn around, so that is. So we'll be good for most of that part. Right? Try to speed it up a little. Oh, there we are. No, it just happened. We just got a bunch of money for the rest of those things down here. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I hit the Windows button instead. So we're gonna come down here. Do this stuff here. Make sure it's not selecting the ride. That's good. Actually, but it did select the paths. Weird. Here's clear it and then try to get it. Manual. We'll copy that real quick. Back here. Very pricey. Toss down some bitches and some pails, and that sort of thing too. Now that that's done, yep. Here. Sorry, that's not sitting here. That's just thing over here. We'll do these village heart benches. For you folks. And you can see they're $10 each. So I'm going to run out that one fast. Oh, hit the pause button. Regular speed rather than half speed. And we're starting. And you see people line up for the theater. It's starting to rain. It's my first rain. Sorry. Those. Now a couple of waste cans would be next. Should we need to do because they're $5 each. That's not good. Sure, everybody know that. Yeah. Hit the play button again. And this time we're going to grab this. Very good. Yeah, a lot of people are going to want to do the theater because it's indoor, where we might see a big thing in the rain. We also might see some people go and buy umbrellas, actually, from this section over here. I'm not seeing a bunch of people. Okay. It's $40. It's pretty pricey, as it can be. Although it's pretty pretty too. And theme too. So we'll have it here. Yeah, this one, like my money's been basically beneath. It looks like I haven't been making a lot of money out of it so far, which is okay. Which I get to the finance of this really tough at times. Alright, well it's paused, and I got enough money to build a couple of these all day. This should be more like here. That's good. And then way over here. Okay. Although that might be a little these people. I'm not sure how I would do that specifically. Right there, right? I mean, normally I would put right there. A little more. That'll be right in the middle of that line right there. I'm not sure if that would actually get them in the way. Or I can shrink it. And then see that works. With more scale, see that works. Yeah, we'll try that. Let's be queuing up. Brainstorm. First one. Baby's first brainstorm. It's pretty. I like green. I still like rain to this day, actually. Weirdly enough, I know most people hate that. But when I was a kid, I loved rain. And I was like, why should we stop? I'd go outside and play that rain songs. And so I remember once I was living and working at Wayne State University, and it had a huge rainstorm in the spring, and I went outside and kicked off my heels. Oh, my heels. Off my shoes, and then I remember getting a lot of people. Some people were like, "What's weird?" And then some people were like, "It's really, really cool stuff." Right. So yeah, I like the rain. Weird. Sorry, it happens. All right, now I was hoping to start to have enough money here to do the garden side of things. But let me show you where the garden would start, because there is a gorgeous piece from the fairy tale side. Right? And so just so you can see it already. Oh, it's $200. It's a gazebo. And it's fairy tale gazebo, so you can see it's actually in my theme too, right there. The fairy tales here in the opening section. Alright, you can definitely see that's gorgeous. Pretty center. And that sort of thing too. Now that I've got that over here, I probably wouldn't be the bad idea to do one over here too. So that's where I was going to start today. Hopefully we'll be able to do that with you guys later on when I start to make that money. Again, but it's not happening. Now I could do some lesser stuff. That's my long-term thing for me to finish this up, right? And that sort of thing too. Now there is something that I forgot to do when I was doing the decorations down south. If I have time, I might do it. I don't know if I will. It's pretty cheap though. You can see here, side of this gazebo here, in the right. I'll show you. So you can see here in this section right here for your folks in the nature section is the topiaries, and they're actually like I mentioned before, there are some topiaries here at the end. The first ones are nature, but the later, which will eliminate those, but these later ones are much more detailed. These are all fairy tales from here down, right? And that's where I got this. The Avatar like it's also pretty cheap deal at $250, or where I got this to the heart, right? And that sort of thing too. But you can also, and then this bottles. There's also a hedge for like $1. So that'll get it. So you can probably expect to see me do more of those and that sort of thing too. I might want to, because I want to see if I could actually get the cash here, letting this run for a little bit, or not. Maybe we'll just come back tomorrow with nothing happening. Right? I have no idea what's going to happen, and with the finance. All right, but there you go for you, folks. I hope you enjoyed this next one. It's a little harder fiscally than I was expecting to be. Right, and in a good way, right, and then you need to have another mechanic to, just so you know, right up front, even at the beginning. So you definitely want to have to. You do not want to cut a cycle one. You need that money. Yeah, reading that money. You need that research. You know it costs money, right? So you definitely want to make sure you're taking care of that stuff. Alrighty for it, folks, and there you are. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are. I also do a bunch of these others. I do reviews of video games on Wednesdays, as well as things like older movie serials, tabletop RPGs, war games, and then also things out there too, like the things out there like free reviews of things each week that you read in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres. Just check out that channel. If that stuff sounds like your cup of tea, please do all the YouTube stuff. And then I want to thank you so very, very much for just, because I know it makes it a little bit easier for you to hear, but for just taking some time out of your day, right, and investing and in watching my videos, because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives, right? And we'll pull it in so many different directions too. So, right, so like you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling. I appreciate that so very, very much. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.